Hey everyone, we are back here at the Homestead Garden checking in on one of our worm bins. So we're first going to check the reservoir. Always check the reservoir first. And things are looking pretty dry. Looks like some liquids may have evaporated. We're going to pop off the lid and look inside. No signs of fungus gnats, which is great because this bin did have fungus gnats, and we added the nematodes and rove beetle and hypoaspis. So that has really helped. And then we're going to dig down and look for food presents. All right, they've worked through a lot of it, but I'm seeing a few pieces of cucumbers we added quite a while ago, but they were very fresh. So that could just be because it is a newer bin that we set up and there is less microbial bacteria going on in here, breaking it down. That activity will build as the bin ages. It's also cooler, so the worms activity could be decreased a little bit as the season is changing. We're going to leave those in there, let them keep working on them. Then we're going to dig a little bit deeper down, check for moisture, worm activity. Worms are pretty active crawling around, but it is very moist down here at the bottom. So we've got a lot of built up moisture down there at the bottom, and you don't want that. That'll make it too compact. Let's talk about how we're going to fix this. We're going to fluff this bin and mix everything up, as well as feed the worms. Then to help with the moisture that's accumulated at the bottom, we're going to add more browns to the bin. First thing, this stuff on top is still great. It's not too moist, so we're going to pull some of that out so that we can cover up our food scraps at the end. All right, I think that's probably good. Now we're going to use a hand rake and just fluff up the whole bin. Get the moisture distributed, add some air. Now we're going to add some browns to absorb some of that moisture. We're using shredded paper again. We're going to mix that in, fluff that up again. This stuff breaks down pretty quick. So we'll add 3 handfuls. So that's what you want, the wrung out sponge. So you might have noticed we just mixed up all the layers. When we built our bin, we had all these nice layers all stacked up on top of each other. We just mix that all up so we have our food scraps, our worms, the compost, the browns, all mixed together. But that's okay because we're going to feed them with a layer, and then we're going to layer more bedding and more browns, and they will move up to that layer. So now we're going to feed the worms. And one thing to mention about the food scraps is if you are just starting out, especially, you can let your scraps sit out for 3 days room temperature, and that would prevent the cucumber that we put in super fresh from sitting there for a month. The partial decomposed stuff is the worm's favorite. We are going to add half eggshells and not crush them up this time. As we move into the cooler months, the worms like to nest inside of there, and it helps insulate them, so they kind of crawl in there and make that their nice little cozy spot. So we're going to add just the half eggshells, not crushed up. Some coffee. All right, there we go. We got a good layer of food that they can crawl up and start working on. So now we're going to add back what we removed for the bedding to cover up all those scraps. And then we're going to add browns on top of that. Now we're done with this bin. We'll check back in a week and see if the moisture has been corrected and feed them again.